Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Thakur, and in today's video I am going to tell you about the solution of one of your biggest problems. And that problem is where to start learning English from. Like from where can I start learning English? Well, this question comes to all of students' mind who want to learn to speak English. Well, I also was very confused about getting to know about this. Where should I start from? Will I have to learn grammar, or I will have to cram daily sentences, or I will have to learn vocab words? Well, what should I do? At first, what did I do? Well, especially in this video, I will share with you about my experience. What I used to do at the beginning when I was just learning this. So I'll share with you about my experience, as well as I will tell you what should you do. So what you have to do is to keep watching this video from beginning till the end. So let's begin. So at first I still remember that what I used to do was I used to cram daily sentences. I used to learn daily sentences, and I used to use them whensoever I used to get an opportunity to speak them. So I would speak those sentences, right? So at first what you have to do is to learn a few sentences, daily sentences, like if you are eating food. So by eating food you have to speak that I am going to eat food now, or I am eating food. If I would go there, so I would speak that I am going to go there, I am going there. So I used to speak like this also. And at first you will also have to learn a few daily use sentences which you use on daily basis, right? You will have to speak every day. You will have to speak because English comes by speaking, and you must have to speak. And what will you speak? The sentences that you will learn, right? Daily sentences, you have to learn a few sentences. I'm not saying that you have to learn millions of sentences. No, at first you have to learn every day, as I told in the previous video as well, that you have to learn 10 to 20 sentences every day with consistency. Make sure that you must follow consistency, because if you learn today 10 to 20 sentences and tomorrow you don't learn, then there would be, I think, no benefit of that. So I think you must have to learn 10 to 20 sentences on daily basis. And it is also not sufficient only to learn sentences. You will also have to implement those sentences whensoever you get an opportunity. Make sure that you try to speak them, right? You have to try to speak them. At first you have to do, what you have to do is to cram sentences, to learn daily sentences, and to use them as well in your day-to-day conversation. At second, I still remember what I would do was I used to learn vocab words. Only 5 to 10 vocab words I used to learn every day, but with consistency I used to learn those words. I used to learn with consistency, right? So 5 to 10 words you also have to learn on daily basis, right? And you have to try to execute them, you have to try to implement them. You have to try to use in sentences, like at third, this is my the next point. And at third, you have to learn a few rules of grammar. I am not saying that you have to go through the whole grammar. No, never make this mistake. What people do is that they start learning the whole grammar, they start learning the hard concepts of grammar. No, you have not to do this. Well, what you have to learn in grammar is to learn a small formations of sentences which you need to speak every day. Like if I want food, so you have to learn the use of want, use of need, use of used to. And there are a lot of formations in English grammar, so you have to learn all of those formation and try to implement those words of vocabulary in making sentences. Every day you have to make sentences, and after making those sentences, try to use those sentences in your conversation, or you can also write those sentences on a paper. That will also help you a lot, as I used to do. So at beginning there are only three things which you can do. Is the first thing, you will have to learn daily use sentences. Second thing, you will have to learn vocab words. Third thing, you will have to learn formations of grammar, how to make a sentence, how to translate a sentence. Like if you think any sentence in Hindi and you try to speak that sentence in English, so first you will have to translate that sentence, right? And for translation you will need of two things. First is vocabulary. Do you know about the accurate word which has to be used in that sentence that you have thought in Hindi in your mind, right? And second, do you know about the formation, about the structure, how is that sentence to be translated, right? So these both things are necessary for translation, I think, and by translation only you can learn to speak English. Well, let me tell you, there can be two ways to learn to speak this language. Well, first is that you have an environment. If you have an environment of this, then you will be able to learn without doing any effort, right? But if you do not have any environment, you will have to learn daily use sentences, you will have to learn vocabulary, you will have to learn grammar as well. I also did not have any kind of environment. I did not have friends. I did not have any person with whom I could speak English with, right? So I also used to practice like this. I used to write something. I used to translate sentences on the paper. I used to write down at least one page every day. The words I used to learn and the formations of sentences I used to learn. So I would translate sentences by implementing those words and those formations, right? And there is also one thing which I would like to share with you, and that thing is, if any sentence that is coming to your mind and you are not able to translate that sentence and you are not able to speak that sentence, so what you have to do is to that you have a mobile phone and internet is there in that mobile phone as well, and Google is there. So you have to search that sentence, search the translation of that sentence into English, how that sentence has to be translated in English. So after watching the translation of that sentence, you have to learn that, right? You have to try to speak that any sentence at all, if there if coming to your mind and you are not aware about the translation of that sentence, so you have to take the help from the Google. After all, you have your mobile phone and in that Google as well, so use that, use everything resource that you have, right? Believe me, this thing helped me a lot to improve my English, because I also used to translate sentences on the Google. I used to write sentences in Hindi and the Google used to tell me the translation of the sentence. This is how I improved my English as well, and it will help you a lot too, right? And after 1 month, you will also feel yourself. You will feel yourself that yes, my English has been improved. To some extent, you will be able to speak. To some extent, you will be able to understand English as well. So in this video till now, I told you about 4 things especially, and you have to work upon those 4 things at the beginning. You have to start your journey of learning this language from these 4 tips. The very first is that you have to learn daily use sentences, and you not only have to learn them but also you have to implement them. Whensoever you get an opportunity to speak them, you have to speak them, right? And the second thing, you have to learn for structures of sentences, a few formations of English grammar, how to translate a sentence. You have to learn use of like there are a few words like used to and want to and need to, dare to. These kinds of words you have to learn in grammar. You have not to learn the whole grammar. I'm not talking about the whole grammar, but a few topics, a few things you must have to learn in grammar as well. And here also, you just not have to learn, but you also have to implement in your day-to-day life. In speaking as well, you have to try to translate sentences by applying the rules of grammar. And the third thing is that you have to learn the vocab words as well, and 5 to 10 vocab words you have to learn on daily basis. If you think that I should learn 15 to 20 words, there's going to be no benefit of that, I think, as I believe that you have to learn only 5 to 10 words at beginning. After that, after 1 month, you can increase this, but at beginning, make sure that you have to learn 5 to 10 words with consistency, right? Make sure that you follow consistency. I again and again say this, that you have to follow consistency. So, and the fourth thing is that if any sentence you are not able to translate, you have to search that sentence on the Google. What is the translation of that sentence? You have to get to know by searching that sentence at the Google, right? You have your mobile phone, you have internet in that, and you can search that at Google. I think you should take the benefit of by using all the resources that you have, right? If you follow these 4 tips for the next 1 month, for the next 30 days only, you will feel a lot of improvement in your English. Believe me, as I also did this. So for the next for the first 30 days, I just did this. So that's why I told you about this as well, so that you could also take the benefit of this thing, right? So this is what you have to do, the 4 things only, as I told you. And now what you have to do is to let me know about how did you find this video. Write it down in the comment box below. And if any of your friends is also learning spoken English, so do share this video to him or her, or in any group, right? You have to share this video as much as you can, right? And also do subscribe the channel if you like the video, so do like this as well. And don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you.